So that was the introduction that I give, but I only met Nathan face to face recently when we both went on the amazing influencer campaign to Portugal with Laura, which she explained to you earlier. So if anybody was following, they will know the drama. I get very seasick. He was rubbing my back, never met him in my life. And he wouldn't leave me alone, thought he was doing a good thing. And I was like, no, please leave me. But that was a connection we will never forget. We're friends for life, right?
The last time I was sitting this close to you, you were being sick and I was rubbing your back.
Yes, he was. And there was a hole in the bag. Yeah.
I was like, don't be sick on me, just be sick in the bag, Caroline.
No, your exact words were, I'm sorry, I didn't plan to talk about all this, fill your boots, Caroline.
Fill the bag.
Fill the bag. So anyway, he is the man. He's here today, and I knew you were going to love this conversation because Nathan is very open about his journey and how this has all happened, and we all want to hear the crack. He's also the king of slow cookers. Anybody who doesn't have a slow cooker, you need to follow him, or an air fryer. Welcome to the Digg podcast series 5. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Time is going so quickly. I am your host, Caroline O'Neill, and if you've recently found the Digg podcast, it means you're ready to embrace the challenging yet rewarding world of business. I'm not afraid to ask those entrepreneurs, leaders and visionaries just how they have achieved that success. We need to know. So join me as we are challenged and inspired on the Digg podcast. If you enjoy an episode, please remember to screenshot and share on social, tagging Digg for Success so we can connect and I can reshare. So, Nathan, I give an introduction to you there, but I don't feel like I did you justice. Tell us, how did this all start?
So I've always had a passion for food, and I love food as well, and I would always cook at home. So I don't come from a food or nutrition, or I'm not a dietitian. So I think that's kind of just why it's a wee bit more relatable. I don't come from that background. So in March 2020, I set up an Instagram account. It was actually called Board of Lunch Belfast. So it wasn't Board of Lunch, it was very location specific, and it was just like me as just putting up pictures of food and videos of restaurants and whatnot. And then obviously it was the bulk buying stage of the pandemic where people completely lost the plot. It was bulk buying everything, trolley loads of tinned food, trolley loads of toilet roll, and I was like, this is mad. So maybe if I was posting recipes and stuff like that, people might get on board with it. So it was friends and stuff was encouraging me. You're always on your own Instagram and your own Snapchat, you're always adding photos of food and what you're cooking, and why don't you just chuck it onto like an Instagram platform? So that's what I did. But the catalyst in it was when I was in Tesco's during that bulk buying stage of the pandemic, and the fresh fruit and veg aisle was completely full. But when I went down the tinned aisle, there was a really elderly man, and he just looked so distressed because there was completely nothing on the shelves. And I just thought, why is my generation of people that can cook, why are they not cooking? Maybe if I posted recipes or ideas, it would give people inspo to get away from the tin food and let it be for people who maybe need it more, or a bit more vulnerable. And just go for it. So, I always say, just fill your boots, Caroline, and just if you're passionate about bricklaying or something, there's no reason why you can't create a TikTok or an Instagram account on bricklaying. There is an Instagram account and a TikTok for everything, and you have to come over that barrier saying what will people think. Just to hell with it, just run with it and set the account up, and there you go. Yeah,
so I would say most of the people in here they're on social, and they're maybe not seeing the rewards. So they're looking at someone like you that started in March 2020 and saying, I hate him. I've been doing this for 10 years and I have only got 2,000. So how quickly did you see the growth, and why do you think that was? Because that's the secret sauce we need to know.
Yeah, I think we are always our own worst critic and we want instant success. But for me, it wasn't an instant success. I set it up in February or March, and it took me about 3 or 4 months, and I got to 10,000 in 3 or 4 months, which is a lot in a short space of time. And in my first year of having the account, I had 30,000. So it wasn't this huge big thing that just happened overnight. It was gradual. So in January of this year, I had 100,000 on my Instagram. So since then, it's now up 300. So it's completely snowballed again. So it's not.
Woo! Yes! Big round of applause. He's saying that's not much, and we're all like.
But-
What the hell?
And that's what I'm saying, we're always our own worst critic. I'm saying, why is this not working? You just have to persevere and just keep on going. And I think cross-pollinate across different platforms. So using Facebook and using TikTok and using Instagram as well. So that's where I find growth to my Instagram is coming from other platforms as well. So it's omni-channel now. There's people are using other platforms and coming into Instagram, and
Yes.
they're finding me on different sites. And I think where I went up was I was bored of lunch Belfast, and I thought, what? People are not just bored of lunch in Belfast. Like, there's people everywhere's going to be bored of lunch. So I just dropped the Belfast, and then that's kind of where it started to take off as well. I think video content is also key. The market and people who consume social media are hyper demanding of video content, and everything that I do it on my phone. So there's nobody here today that can't do, video content, because I do it on my phone. And if somebody had handed me a phone 2 years ago and said, "Can you do a reel?" I'd have said, "What?" Like, no. So you just have to go on that journey of self-discovery, do a litmus test, try everything, but video content is key.
Yes, and when me and you were talking this out about what we were going to talk about on the podcast today, you talked about the reason why you think your growth was so big, and I know you say it wasn't, but believe me, we're sitting here, it was. 1 year out to have that is unbelievable. It was because you stuck to one journey, your niche. Talk about that, because
Yeah.
I think as business owners and people here, we're trying to be all things to everybody and cover all the content and be the creator and the jump into the clothes reel and the educator. But what do you think? Why was that? What we talked about.
Yeah, so I think it's very important to don't ever silo yourself into one thing. Like, if you come onto my Instagram or my socials, you'll expect an air fryer and you'll expect a slow cooker, but that's not exclusive. That's not all that I do, but it should be about 80% of my content.
Oh my God.
Was that me?
That was you.
Was it me?
Yeah, no, we're joking.
Was it?
I do not know what that was, but it's making us all sit up straight.
So pick a niche that you want to focus on. So when I was looking at bigger food accounts, and I think it's very important to network with other accounts and share other accounts as well, and learn from them. And there's no reason why other content creators can't interact with other content creators and say, "Can you help me?" I asked other people to help me and say, "How do I create a video? And what do you use? And what apps do you use?" And you just have to just go on that journey. But so don't ever silo yourself, but pick a niche. So some of the biggest accounts that I follow, say Jane's Patisserie. If I go on there, I expect baking content, I expect cakes. And I try and think of it in the real world. So if my Instagram account, say Board of Lunch, was a restaurant, and you would come in and you would expect a slow cooker on the go, you'd expect an air fryer on the go. If there was a cake stand, you'd be like, "This is a wee bit confusing, I don't know what I'm coming in here for." So, if you're a baking account, bake but don't sell yourself. You can do the odd bit of content and something else, but I think pick a niche, and your shop window has to tell your followers what they're coming in for. What is your USP? And mine is, at the moment, it's calorie focused food. It's food that lets me manage my corporate job. So slow cooker, air fryer, and people expect that from me, and that's why they're there.
Mm-hmm. And I'm always trying to bring it back to everybody who's sitting in front of me. So we all started our businesses because we knew what we were good at. Like, Majala loves finance. I mentioned Majala because we were talking to her this morning. You need to focus on your why. Tell the people, and don't be ashamed of it, and use your platform to do that. So I suppose that's your niche, is what you're good at, and stick to that, and don't try to be all things to everybody. So I suppose that's why everybody comes to you, because they know the slow cooker, and a slow cooker is unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's me.
Inspire people there to get one that haven't.
I know. You have to get one, but they're £20, so what are you going to lose?
I know, and honestly, it's so good.
Yeah, it just means in the morning, I can prepare stuff, go to work, come back, and then the calories and stuff as well, obviously using it is good for that way. So, and it works for me.
I'm not convinced about the air fryer thing yet now.
I will get you on board, Caroline.
No, I just think I do not need another contraption on the worktop.
No, you do. You need to get one.
But what's the difference in an oven and an air fryer?
Well, an oven. I haven't used my oven from, I would say, Christmas.
But that's not fair. The oven's there. Why are I don't understand.
Because it blasts hotter in all around that food. It nearly fries it. It blows you could put in a couple of sprays of oil, and it blows that mist all around that basket.
Quicker then.
Well, quicker, yes. So you cook a chicken breast in the oven for 30-35 minutes, but in the air fryer it would take you 17. So
There
Do you
you
know
go.
what I mean?
Okay. You should be on
Have a
commission
sold
for
you?
air
Alright,
fryers.
have it, yeah.
Me, I know mummy sitting down there going, maybe we should get one. Your daddy would like that. Okay, so that's the air fryer sorted. So you're obviously Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and we're going to talk about these, but how important, so people put out their content on social and perhaps forget about the captions.
Yeah.
It's really, really important. So talk about that. That's the copy that goes underneath your Instagram posts and your Facebook posts, your LinkedIn, whatever. So how important is that?
Captions are really, really important. So like for me, when I post a video, I'll always tell the story of what's in that video below. You know, here I'm using, you know, a Ninja air fryer, here's the recipe below. But I'm thinking for some of the businesses that are here today, you know, people consume a video really, really quickly and they don't want to have to keep on watching it over and over and over again to get the message. So they want to scroll down and say, right, that video was great, but I want to see what other golden nuggets are below here that I can take a screenshot of or digest it maybe without having to watch the video over and over. So it's very, very important. And then obviously your hashtags and stuff as well is very, very key. But like, you know, if I, like for some of the kids boutiques and the fashion brands here, you know, if you're doing a reel on kids clothes, like you should put the description in that video of what that, what clothes is in that video. You know, this is from our X, Y, and Z range. I don't know fashion, by the way. But
Yes, you do. Look at the styling. That's my test would say. Look at the styling.
Yeah, I know, Celine. Yeah.
So the captions are important. Some people forget that, they just post it and run on, but you're telling the story of your brand and your business within each thing that you write on social. So hashtags, so I know we talked about this on the phone whenever we were preparing. So how important are they? What way do you do that? The hash, because people find that hard to navigate, don't really understand that.
Mm-hmm. So for me, and this is just my experience, and Matt's probably going to say he doesn't. I don't know. This is just my
Matt,
experience. So I know you can
but-
contradict it, right? So like anything that I said, you know, just take it with a pinch of salt. This is my experience, and I use the platforms, but I don't come from that strategic marketing background. So for me,
But he's got 300 followers, so go and listen.
all right. So hashtags, I see them similar as a Google search. So if I put up a video of a burger and I put in hashtag burger recipe, if someone went into Instagram and searched burger recipes, like there's a chance that my video or my picture will come up. So like if you post it into Google, you know, burger recipe, like stuff will come up. So it's very similar. And if you're following that hashtag, it will come up and you could be at the top of that hashtag. Like there's some things pop up and there's new pages that I find only through hashtags. And people, I done a poll on my stories to say, you know, can I just check, you know, how you find the Board of Lunch socials, you know, was it through a TikTok, was it through word of mouth? How did you find my page? And some of them said hashtags. So hashtag is very, very important, I think. Different on, so TikTok, you were the character count was a lot lower, so you couldn't use as many hashtags. But on Instagram, I just think, you know, as many as you want, get it into the caption. I think that the content manager for Instagram says, you know, you don't need to put it into the comment section, you can put it into the caption as well. So I put mine into the caption. But you know, as a litmus test, you know, I always say try things. Everything's trial and error. You know, nothing's ever going to go wrong. There's going to be no backlash or nothing that can happen from you doing something and saying, well, it didn't work, I'll do something different. Just try it, and if it didn't work, try something different. And you know, me and Matt was chatting last night, and he said, you know, some of his friends that are content creators, they post 100 videos on TikTok to get one viral video. So you have to keep going. And like I do use some old content as well, so you don't need to exhaust yourself and work crazy hours. I need a new video. So at the moment I'm working crazy hours and I'm really struggling to get near content. And I'm using old content and it's still getting engagement and it's still getting me followers. So I think as business owners, try not to put too much pressure on yourself. New content is great, but don't forget about those nuggets that you have on down your grid that your new followers might not have seen.
Do you mean re-sharing that to your stories and introducing it as a new content to the new people?
Not even that. So like I would go into my reels and literally download it as a reel and post it again as a brand new reel. And you can use websites, you know, you can use sites to remove the logo from reels or from TikTok. From my experience as well, if you post a TikTok video on Instagram and the content manager came out and said, you know, we will cripple people's reach on Instagram if you're posting TikTok content. So my experience of that is I tend not to. So you can use websites, you know, just type into Google, remove TikTok watermark on videos and even your reels as well, and post it as a new reel. Okay. And as well as that, you know, we were chatting earlier on about people are overthinking it and going into TikTok and creating a video, going into Instagram and creating a video, and then maybe doing something different for Facebook. I create all my videos in one app and chuck it onto all 3 platforms. Hope for the best, obviously. But you don't need to create 3 different videos for 3 different platforms. Create it in one app. You can use InShot, you can use Splice, you can use iMovie, and then just use the one video for each of the platforms. So I think people are saying I go into TikTok and I make a TikTok and then I go into Reels and I make a Reel. So hopefully that maybe helps some people that's been doing that.
They're getting burnt out, exhausted, and they leave it and never touch it again because they're horrified by the amount of time it took.
Yes.
So that's a good tip, and I suppose there'll be a lot of digital marketers in the room. Their toes are curling up because we're saying don't create different types of content for different platforms, but you have to be realistic too about time for business owners, and I have found that hasn't worked against me and it hasn't worked against you, and we're feeding our audience in the different platforms, and you figure out what works, and it mightn't work for everyone. For me it does, and for Matt it does. So we can't exhaust ourselves. The hashtag thing, a little tip, Matt and I talked about this, what I do with hashtags, the generic ones that I want to be found for, I post those the same underneath each one, and I save those in the notes on my phone so that I don't have to type those in every single time. So when I do a post on social, I go into the notes, pick those generic ones, copy and paste them under the post, and then I make extra ones relevant to the thing that I'm posting. So if I was putting up a picture today of the podcast, I put up all the podcast ones. But if it was of me and Matt, I'd put up all the podcast ones, and then I'd do hashtag boarding lunch, hashtag air fryer, hashtag need to get one. All of those to make it relevant to that person. So there is ways of making that wee process easier, because when I talk about hashtags to people, they're like, oh, can't be bothered, so hard. Yes, it is hard. It is hard. But if you want to find organic people like Nathan gets, this is another way that you can get in front of your audience. So that's the hashtag thing cleared up.
You can also put, just like similar to what you do, Caroline, just put in your notes in your iPhone, just like all your hashtags, and just copy paste it into the video. Don't be sitting on the platform saying, oh, I need to think of more hashtags. Copy and paste, and you could have a couple of different notes and say, all right, that'll be for my kids' fashion content. There's all the hashtags. Then there's one for my men's fashion, and then put that on. So you need to think of shortcuts to try and make the most of your time, because as business owners you probably work crazy hours, so try and think on how you can make it easier for yourself.
I think your guy Mosseri, what do you call him, Instagram?
Yes, that's who I'm talking about. Yes, I couldn't think of his name.
If anybody who doesn't know him, what's his handle? At MOSSERI. So I'll put it in the show notes, and I'll try and put it up on our socials later. He's what is he? The creator of Instagram?
I think he's the head. Matt, you might know.
Matt, the head of Instagram, has its own social media Instagram account, and he's on there all the time giving you tips and tricks about how to navigate through this minefield. So he's brilliant. He did say that it's kind of spammy when you copy and paste every single one to try and mix it up a wee bit, and that's why I try to change the few wee hashtags on each post, but don't want to spend too much time on hashtags. It means so much to me to have a partner for the podcast which has the same values and mission as me, and that's definitely the case for our partner Evolve. I want you to listen to their mission and how they can help you grow as an entrepreneur.
Evolve is a community for female entrepreneurs and leaders across the island of Ireland that has been created and funded by Taris's Enterprises, who believe passionately in business for good. Evolve's mission is to enable you to step into your power and realise your full potential by inspiring you, educating, connecting, and as part of the Evolve community, you will be part of the movement to lift women up and achieve true equality of opportunity. The Evolve Academy will provide a series of face-to-face masterclasses and mentoring. The Evolve Trailblazers and Founders series tell the stories of inspiring women who are paving the way. And the Evolve Library is your first stop online hub, providing a packed resource library to progress your entrepreneurial or leadership journey. Join our community today on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook or Twitter, and at evolvewomen.org. Applications are now open for the very first intake of the Evolve Academy. Take the opportunity today to realise your full potential. Evolve, empowering women to be women of power.
You rarely show your face, which is a big shame because you're very handsome. You rarely show your face.
You coming on to me, are you?
No, wait, no, we've already had this conversation on holidays. Jared's fine with it, as well. You rarely show your face on social, but your following is huge and your engagement is huge. This is a great confidence booster for people who are listening who absolutely freak out that they think they have to be the blogger, I feel so bad if you feel like I'm not talking to you over here, but the person that's doing this all the time. It doesn't need to be that. Can you talk about that for us?
Yeah, so for me, and I'll be completely honest with everybody in the room, social media doesn't come natural to me at all. So for me, holding a phone up to my face and talking, like, I don't know, it's hard for me, and I think that it might be because I'm a man. Like, you don't see many men holding a phone up to their face, and I think for women coming on, they can talk about, I got my hair done here today, I'm wearing this lipstick or whatever. Like, I'm going to come on and say I have stuff in the air fryer here. I don't know what to say, and so like it just doesn't come natural to me. But I do it at times, and people come on and message and say, you know what, it was so nice to see you, and we love having you on. And some brands said, we want you in the video, and we want you front and center of the content. So and I don't come from a marketing background at all, so I struggle with it, but you have to do it. But you don't have to put yourself out there. Like, there's some of the biggest accounts that I follow, and there's no face behind it, and it's just content and consuming. I don't even know who runs this account, but I love their content. And like, do you know who the CEO or the face of River Island, who runs it? No, you don't. You follow them for their content and their reels and who's wearing their clothes in their content, So you can go on, but like, don't make it hard for yourself. You don't have to. Obviously, it's nice to show a face, and it's nice to put a face behind a brand, and people can relate to it. And I do have my face on there, and I try to come on, but it doesn't come natural to me. Yes.
And you wouldn't think that, wouldn't you not, when he's sitting up here? He's so good at talking to everybody, but I suppose, a lot of us, face-to-face is no bother, but you put the camera on and people crumble, and I understand that it's not flipping easy, but there is a way to get your brand message out there and represent yourself without being the influencer or the blogger that people are afraid they need to be. So it's about exploring those ways, connecting with people, trying to find out, listening to people like Matt, seeing how engaging his videos are without him ever seeing.
You keep calling me Matt, Caroline.
Sorry, Nathan.
I said I'm not coming back.
I'm not allowed to curse. For everybody on the audio, I'm thinking about the people who are going to be listening to this in weeks to come. Matt was the previous speaker, and we keep referring back to him. He's right in front of us here, but Nathan is my man right in front of me here. Sorry.
Matt, you're going to get some amount of followers out of this.
I know. You're right. We'll edit that bit out. Right. So, now you've really threw me. Okay, what advice, Nathan, would you give to the audience? So I've written down a few wee things that we talked about, like strategy, when.
Yes, so I think, try and be strategic about when you post. So to give you an example, and I'll give 2 examples. So for me, when I post on food content, I know that people are hungry at 11 and 4 and later on in the evening, or when they're hungover on a Sunday morning, lying in bed dying. So I know if I post then, I'm going to get interaction and I'm going to get engagement. So if it was a fashion brand, when do people most likely buy clothes? It's going to be 8 in the evening, lying on the sofa after your dinner and a mad day looking after kids or whatever you have on. They'll probably scroll then. So like, think of the golden hour, and I can tell within 15 minutes of posting a video if it's going to go viral on either platform. I can tell straight away. So I think you need to really strategize and think about when you post, and try different times. Don't just think, oh, this is my best slot and I'm only going to post at this time. Try different slots and different days, and try and put yourself in the customer's shoes. When would your customer most likely be on your page, and try it. But everything's a litmus test. I find with TikTok, I don't go viral until 48 hours after I post.
Let's talk about TikTok.
Yeah, we'll talk about
And Cara's going to be up next, and she's going to educate us all. But TikTok, tell me about your experience on the platform. Loads of people scare the life out of them. It scares me too. So tell me about it.
So I set my TikTok up in summer last year, so it was actually about a year after I set up the Instagram account. And you know, I didn't really use it that much, and I was chucking videos onto it, and I was hoping for the best. And I was like, why am I not going viral? And I was creating videos in TikTok at the time. I wasn't trying to manage my time best by using, you know, the one site that we were talking about. And I was out with another content creator, and they said, you know, why are you not posting your TikTok? And I just went home with this mindset, and I just said, you know what? I know that my next video is going to be viral. If I have to put my family's head in that slow cooker or air fryer, I will do it. If I want to go viral, I will. And I just had it in my head. I was like, I'm going to do it. I know for a fact my next video is going to be 1 million. And you know, I focused, you know, I channeled it in my head. I said, I can do this. I'm going to crack this platform. And 48 hours later, it had 2 million. So you know, it's just, you have to get it into your head, and you know, really beef yourself up and just say, I can do this, and I will crack this platform, you know, by hook or by crook, and I'll try different videos. And with TikTok, you don't get punished for posting video after video after video after video. Post as many times as you want. And as Matt said, you know, some of his friends, you know, they create 100 videos, and you know, they might go viral in one. You know, it will happen, and just go for it. TikTok is a beast. Like, just to put it in perspective, like, you know, you can get followed by anywhere. Like, it's a mad platform, but the reach is phenomenal. And the brands that have found me on TikTok that I've been able to work with has offered me so many opportunities. So if you're not on TikTok, get on it. Like, I follow a woman who was in the Holocaust. Like, you know, there's accounts for everything on TikTok. You know, if you're a physiotherapist, you know, show transformation journeys, like a quick 30-second video. You know, like audios. How did I go from this? Like maybe someone like in a really bad injured position to this, and then she's running about the room now. You know, so just like
yes, there's a way.
There's a way, and there, like, if you go in and search hashtag physio on TikTok, you'll see all these other physiotherapists posting content, and it'll give you inspiration from other like-minded content creators, and it's a fantastic platform, and you should really get onto it.
Yeah, and I suppose, like, if you strip it all back, that's really about the content at the start. So that physiotherapy journey, I really like that, Nathan. So like, there's corporates in the room, there's people thinking, oh, I just don't see my place there, but they use that in Nathan's story of showing the transformation journey. That is one piece of content which can then be used across all the platforms. So you focus on the content first, and then you distribute it out as you see fit on all the different places. So that's really, really interesting. Maybe we're all going to try and embrace it.
So Tess did pop up on my TikTok. Look at the style of you, and I said, there she is, yeah.
Yeah, she's going to go viral, that one someday. So, yes, before we end, I want to know, what's your most popular recipe ever, and we're all going to make it tonight.
It's obviously not healthy. It's probably a prawn pill. Loads of oil, prawns, chili, paprika, garlic. Throw your prawns in, loads of crusty bread, and just mop up all that fatty oil.
Unreal.
That's probably it, to be honest. Yeah.
So will you share that on your stories when you get down to your thing, and then everybody's going to follow you and get info for their dinner tonight or over the weekend? So isn't he unreal? Isn't Matt on or not? Matt, you're unreal.
So,
you know,
I'll not be back.
I know. You might think I'm not nervous, but actually I am when I'm coming out with things like that. But Nathan thank you so much. I know you've never done anything like this before, but my God, you're made to be on the stage.
No, like, this doesn't come naturally to me either. I was sitting out there, and Laura was sitting, you know, think of your, manifest it, let's beef you up. I was like, well, the thing is, I'm talking about what I've done, so it's stuff that I'm not telling any lies, so. Yeah,
he's very partial to bringing out trays of Zambuca, and when there's only 10 people, bringing out a tray of 20, so I was waiting for that to happen to beat you up. No. I warned him before he came out, but where can people now, so we're going to go and find out about these prawns, so where can people find you, Nathan? What's your handles?
So it's just Board of Lunch. You can find it on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and then at the end of this year, I'm working with the most incredible publisher to bring out the Board of Lunch cookbook, and I cannot wait to share it with you all.
Love a good cookbook.
Yeah, gotta get that in there. So, so follow the socials and stuff, and even drop me a message. And it's so nice to see so many people here today with like-minded vision of trying to grow your business online. And Caroline, you're phenomenal on this podcast and getting this community together. You're a credit, and well done.
Thank you for being here. As always, thank you so much for joining me on the Digg podcast. It's my absolute privilege to speak to thousands of you each week. If you want to connect and become part of the Digg community, then follow Digg for Success on social media or sign up to our email list on diggforsuccess.com. Until next week, just remember, this is your time to drive your business forward.